Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on the program. I am Imonia Marere. The events of the last 1 week in Nigeria are by now too well known to bear rehashing. All the same, let's remind ourselves of the sequence of events. On Saturday, March 26, while the ruling party in Nigeria, the APC, was holding its long-delayed convention in the nation's capital, Abuja, terrorists were running riot, seizing control of the Kaduna airport as hundreds of them on motorbikes invaded the airport, disrupted operations, and killed at least one person. They were, however, taken down by troops who responded to distress calls. Nigerians had hardly taken in this brazen daylight attack on an airport when on Monday evening, a Kaduna-bound train originating from Abuja was bombed, derailed, and attacked just about 30 minutes to its destination, possibly by the same group of terrorists that invaded the airport. Now, as at the last count, at least 8 people were killed inside the train, several wounded, and many others abducted. At the same time the train attack was ongoing, Zuma Army Barracks along the Zuma-Kaduna Expressway was attacked. 6 soldiers were reportedly killed, with scores injured. Now, prior to the train attack, terrorists had attacked a community in Jugular local government area of Kaduna State, killing about 40 persons. And just a day after the train bombing and attack, that was on Tuesday, in a relentless offensive, the terrorists struck again, this time bombing a train station in Duse, near the Rigasa station in Kaduna. And just when you thought the situation was bad enough, they moved over to the roads. The Abuja-Kaduna road corridor was blocked up for 2 days running, with unspecified number of persons reportedly abducted. As it were, they are attempting to cripple all 3 modes of transportation, that is, air, with the attack on the airport, rail, with the bombing of the train, and road, with the blocking and abduction of innocent Nigerians on the roads. Even as all these were going on, there were reports of deadly attacks and destruction in different parts of the country, particularly in Kaduna and Niger states, where scores are killed and maimed almost on a daily basis. The worrisome thing is that the terrorists appear to carry out their bloody exploits unhindered and unchecked, leaving many to wonder whether the country still has a viable government and security architecture. Questions have been asked and continue to be asked. How did we get to this dangerous precipice? Several accounts of the various attacks have painted a picture of bloodthirsty, ruthless foreign invaders, suggestive of the fact that there are non-Nigerians who have taken advantage of either the country's porous borders or of a deliberate secret policy, or both, to flock into the country to unleash the ongoing mayhem on hapless Nigerians. Whichever it is, Nigeria is bleeding, and very badly too. On the program today, we shall hear from some of the survivors of the attacks. We shall also hear from some security chiefs, and we shall also be joined by 2 security specialists who will look at the issues involved. Stay with us. Right up to now, we will be bringing up the voices of some of those survivors and the others.
Okay, what do you?
Fatima who?
I'm a student.
Okay, Fatima who?
Fatima Shayo.
Sure. Yes. How old are you?
I'm 22 years.
Were you with your family or you were alone?
No, I'm alone, but I'm with my friend.
Okay, with your friend. Have your family seen you?
Yes,
How do they feel about this?
they feel bad. I can't even express how they feel because the thing is too is. Am I kind? When they had the news, they were shocked because they know that I was inside the train. So they did not find any peace of mind. They communicate with me and find out that I'm okay. That's when they have peace of mind.
Were you sitting next to the window? Where were you sitting?
Yes, I'm sitting next to the window in the VIP side.
So how did you take cover when you had the sound?
So when I had the sound, for the first time I just find out the train started shaking before the train just go down. So after that we start hearing the sound of the gunshot. So then one security that is inside the train, he told us to lie down. So we just lie down, but still there's a sound of a gun inside from outside. So after that, immediately they just break the door from the VIP side. They just come in. So after they come in, they started picking people. They started picking people inside the train. They just take them inside the bush. So we are there. Then one policeman came and carry us from that VIP and take us to another place. Then he just closed the door. So they come back again. Like when they carry people, after like 15 minutes, they just come back again. So it's from that time when they are shooting, then the security come and save us. So because my friend is sitting next to me, so I'm just close to her. They shoot her in her stomach, immediately she dead. So that's what happened. Then the security come and save us. So we thank God, and we have to thank the security because they have tried their all best to see that they save us.
This is your friend and what's her name?
Zainab Awal.
Where were you people going to?
From Kaduna, we are going to Abuja. We went to attend our friend wedding in Abuja.
When this attack was going on, what was running through your mind? What was going through your mind?
I just give up. I just give up because I know that definitely two things is going to happen. Either I should dead or they will carry me. That's what come to my mind because I saw them with my eyes. I saw them the time they were carrying people. I saw them. So that's what come to my mind. Gaskiya.
How do you feel generally about this, about traveling?
Yeah, I'm thinking like I will never travel again. That's how I'm feeling.
So what's your call now to the federal and state government on this insecurity?
I call to them, please, they should improve more security. So let them help those who are kidnapped, and please, government should look through the victims, and do something about it.
Like how many of them can you estimate the number of the kidnappers?
Me, I saw like 30 cops who were killed, but I saw like 30 with my eyes. But I don't know like how many people they were big. But there is one of my friend. He's living here in Kaduna, so they put him inside car. He just jumped and run. They shoot him in his back, but he was safe. He is narrating the story to me that they come with 5 shower car. They put people inside. That's what happened.
The train just marched, as in, I don't know if it's bomb or something. So all of a sudden the train just moved from its normal route. Then we just started hearing gunshots from nowhere all over this thing. So that was how the flying bullets just touched me. I did not even know that it was a bullet because I was Everybody was just shouting. We just lie down on the floor. Before you know it, they have even break the train's door and they even entered. So they started abducting people. They were saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They were flogging them, moving them out of the train. They were going out. They raised their hands up, so they were going out. From there, I don't know how, but I did not see them in the train. They went. Then all of a sudden, soldiers came. They rescued us. They really tried. They backed us like me that have wound now. I did not even notice that it's me. I thought it was a dream safe because I did not even believe all what is happening until I saw myself at the hospital.
Were you sitting next to the window? Or where?
No, I was not sitting next to the window. I was sitting chair. I was sitting at the edge. One man was sitting inside, but our middle was empty.
The man, did he survive?
I did not even know because I even my bags, everything. I've lost everything now. It's only me and myself and my phone. Yes.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. How did you manage to come out? Who rescued you out?
It's the one soldier. It's the soldiers that rescued me. Before the soldiers rescued me, there was someone in the train that tied my leg with something. So I couldn't walk. Then someone called the soldier. He carried me on his back, took me outside the train and to their car.
So ever since then, has the government assisted you in medical fields?
Yes, as we heard, they said that they have cleared all our bills. Yes, but the X-ray, they did X-ray yesterday. They still collect. It was my dad that paid for it. But after that, everything that we have been doing, they didn't ask for anything as of now.
Like how many of them did you see, the kidnappers?
The ones I saw inside the train, they were not up to 5. The ones I saw inside the train, but there were some outside shooting. So I can't say there are how many.
Did you see corpses? How many did you see?
The corpses that I saw inside the train were just 2. But some people said that there are plenty of people died. Yes, but the ones I saw with my own eyes is 2 people. Yes.
Sorry, can you tell us the age group of the kidnappers? Are they from 30 years or 40 years?
18, 19, 20. They were young guys. Yeah, they were young guys and they were look like Fulani. Oh, they are not Fulani, real Fulanis, but I don't think they're Nigerians. I don't think, but I don't know, Sha, but I don't think they're Nigerians.
What kind of guns were they carrying? Was it machete?
Big guns. I saw big guns with them. Yes. I don't know the name of the gun, but Sha, but the guns are big.
Saturday, at about midday, we got information about terrorist activities here. So my men came in. They're already at the airport, so they came in to tackle the situation. The airport here has many layers of security. What you are seeing here is just the first layer. There are several other layers of security at the airport. We believe that these guys were passing through towards Riawa and then into Riawa forest areas. And then seeing this guard here was just an opportunity for them to engage him, just to send the kind of message. The miles you covered, a lot of kilometers you covered to get to this place. So there's no way they would have entered the airport to come and cause problems there, because the insinuation outside is that the airport was attacked and taken over by bandits or terrorists. That's not true. You have seen it for yourself here. This is just the first layer. We have several layers of security inside the airport there. Even the first layer, they did not breach it. And this guy that was killed there is not a staff of Nama. He lives in the village around here, and this place you are seeing here is his farm. So as he was farming in this place here, the Nama authority just employed him to look after one of these meteorology facility in the airport area here. So it was an opportunity target for them. It's not as if they had an intention to come inside. However, if they have an intention of coming inside, we are not worried about that. We are ready for them. We recovered 2 motorcycles, and then we called on the air, who scrambled a helicopter to engage them. And according to the air reports, about 12 of them were killed. But normally, again, we are waiting for intelligence on the ground there to confirm this. Like I told you, we have layers of security in this airport here. This is just the first layer. There are other layers of security. If we didn't have such layers of security, it wouldn't start taking our men just about 3 minutes to get to this place here. It took them just 3 minutes from when the shot was had to when they got here. So that tells you the airport is really secured. And we are looking out for things like this. And we reacted immediately. The airport is as safe as before this incident.
Talking about the permanent troops here, we have deployed to the airport here the mobile air defense team. They are permanently on the airport. And these are well-trained guys that can respond to such things. Then in addition to that, we have Operation Badamamaki, sponsored by the Nigerian Air Force, also covering the entire area of the airport and the road up to Barakalau, Rigashiku area. And this is also complemented by the state government internal security operation, Operation Yaki. So the airport is safe. The airport is safe. Passengers have nothing, absolutely nothing to worry about.
What about the
general area? The security, since the period the NDA was breached, we have heightened security around this area. And we keep on everyday patrol. That's why the reaction was about 3 minutes, very fast. And that's quite commendable anyway. So we do not really have anything to worry about. We know they move around here, they move around this area, and we're always giving them chase anytime we get information about their movement, because we have our own people around them too that give us information.
Kaduna State government is mobilizing communities who are living in the Kaduna Airport general area by raising the issue of intelligence gathering. This is part of what we are doing in order to complement efforts that the military and other security agencies are putting in the general area. There are other things that we are doing that we won't be able to talk about them here. So intelligence gathering is very critical, and that is why we are also complementing the civil-military cooperation or relations within the general area. So this is part of what we are doing, and other things that I said I will not be able to mention about it. But what is also important for you to know is this: there was no problem within the immediate vicinity of the airport. What happened is from this location, as you can see. This is exactly what happened. So government will continue to support security agencies in securing the airport. But what is very important is the fact that security cannot be left in the hands of the military, police, and government alone. It's a two-way traffic. People need to come in, and that is why government is mobilizing communities around the airport general area by way of increasing human intelligence, so that we can be able to have an edge over them. And indeed, we have an edge over them. If you listen to the explanation of the military here, you can see the fast response that we got. It was as a result of the fact that people that are living here are security conscious.
I'm sure you've also seen it yourself. It's very sad that in this 21st century we still have heartless individuals who want to make life unbearable for the rest of the citizens. This is dastardly act, but I'd like to assure you that those behind it will not go unpunished. Currently, the men are on their chase, and they will certainly pay the price. But it's a bad one, and we'll do everything possible to liaise with the necessary authorities for them to restore the services, repair the pounds that need to be repaired, and then of course for the train service to continue.
All right, there you have it. Survivors of the train attack. Then, of course, you had the garrison commander, the Nigerian Air Force commander in Kaduna, responding, of course, to the early attack on the airport in Kaduna. So also was the commissioner for internal security in Kaduna State, Mr. Arua, who was also at the airport. And, of course, the chief of defense staff himself, speaking on the kind of response that security agencies have been deploying to these terrorists, what some people choose to call as bandits. But here we choose to call them terrorists because that's what they are. Okay, from here we'll be moving on to our discussion, and that will be right after this very short break. Stay with us. All right, let's get to meet our guests. I have with me here in the studio live Colonel John Adache. Colonel Adache is a retired military officer. He is a security specialist. Thank you so much for joining us, Colonel.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. And joining us virtually from Kaduna is another security specialist, Mr. Bashir Gama. Mr. Gama is joining us via Zoom from Kaduna. Mr. Gama, thank you so much for finding time to join us. Hello, Mr. Gama. All right, we wait for Mr. Gama to connect with us. And after Gama, we'll also expect that we'll be having Mike Simon. Mike Simon is a relative of one of the survivors of the train bombing and attack that, of course, has claimed the lives of as many as 8 people, with so many others injured and in hospital, and others who have an unspecified number of persons who have reportedly been abducted. We understand that at least one person has been contacted by these terrorists, and to tell the relatives that, look, we have your relative with us. Is he or she, I think it's a she, is safe, but of course they are saying they are beginning to make some demands. Okay, I understand that Mr. Gama is with us now. Mr. Gama, how is Kaduna today?
Well, Kaduna, for the past 2 weeks, it has been a boiling point. And I think as far as today, we have not received anything negative yet. But until even last 2 nights ago, there was a report of kidnapping in the evening in Zaria city itself. So it's very, very unfortunate and not palatable to.
All right, Colonel Adache, well, you and I have had discussions around the security issues in Nigeria over some time now. At least on this program, if not anything, we have had about 2 or 3 discussions around insecurity in Nigeria. But not many people, not even you, must have thought that it could degenerate to this level.
Obviously. Thank you very much. And let me anchor my opening statement on what you said earlier, that Nigeria is indeed bleeding. Added to that, let me also say again that the signs of this present danger situations have always been there. Traced from Zamfara up there, KB Sokoto axis, it started to come down to Kaduna and Niger axis, and here now is the center of activity in terms of insecurity on our face. And we seem to be helpless. It is true, and let me say that the comments by the military chiefs and the commissioner from Kaduna State looks reassuring. But the fact is that those ones seems to be the theoretical part of the entire situation. I think there is need to be more proactive. We have to be on the ready, because this situation didn't just come up. And we've been following up. There's tending to too much ad hocism in our security circle. When it happens, we react, and people get assured, and after some time, there will be some lull. And those guys, the bandits, they study our movement, they study security, they know what we do, and they realize that there is always a lull in our reactions. When they study us enough, then they strike. You can see now that they are striking simultaneously from the airport, the railway, and the roads are not even safe, which means the intention is to cut Kaduna off from Abuja particularly, which is the center of activity. And they know how important Kaduna is to the economy and the political and social inclinations of this country. It's a problem. And we need to find ways and means of tackling these dastardly acts that are occurring, because for now, life is generally unsafe. Everybody is afraid. I cannot go to Kaduna. People cannot go to Kaduna. But then, as human beings, we must move to attend to everyday activities as affects individuals, as affects the state, as affects the country. Therefore, something needs to be done, much more than the reassurances that we are getting from
it appears that these terrorists are getting emboldened by the day and by every other attack that they carry out. Because like you said, there was the airport attack, then the rail attack, and on that same night of the rail attack, there was an attack on a military barracks on that Zuma Kaduna expressway, which seems to suggest that these people are beginning to get so bold as to even take the battle to the military.
Indeed, they are highly emboldened. Outside of the attack on the military facility, look at the boys at the checkpoint that were killed, as reported. You begin to wonder, where did the courage of these fellas come from? If you are taking the fight to the military that is supposed to protect the population, whereas it is the military that is supposed to take the fight to them. After gathering necessary intelligence and information, there will have been the need for the military to take the battle to them, because, as it were, the locations are known in the forest areas. So one expects that there should be follow-ups to track them down to where they operate from, outside of the communities. And we need to use the communities very well. They have to provide intelligence. The community people are aware as to where the locations of these people are, because those people, they must come to town, they must eat, they need so many other things, and there are people who are helping them, who are supporting them. So it is true that the military has the wherewithal to deal with them on land and from the air, but you require other support elements from the civil populace through granting of appropriate information that can help the military to achieve their goal. Because it's a collective battle. It is not just the military. It is everybody's battle. The tendency would be that somebody will want to keep blaming the military. Because I read in the papers about one governor blaming the Air Force, that they ought to go and begin to bomb the place. It is true the Air Force may be aware, but while you expect them to do their work, at your own level, as governor of a state, you need to bring in the people, have discussions with them, sensitize them. What are they supposed to do? Because the security situation has implications for them and for their livelihood too. So I think that these are things that we need to do collectively and do together so as to win the battle.
All right, let's get back to Mr. Gama now. I hope that the audio quality is much better now. Mr. Gama, from the account that have been given by different people, and even by going by what the governor of Kaduna State himself has talked about, it appears that these people, these terrorists, move in very large numbers, in convoys of bikes and even vehicles. And a lot of Nigerians are wondering, why is it possible for these people to move so freely, whether in the forest or on the roads, in hundreds, as the case may be, and our intelligence cannot track them down, and our security forces deal with them proactively as Colonel Adachi has said, deal with them proactively rather than react each time there is an attack?
Yes, I think what the officer with you there, the colonel, you said, is well explained. But you know, when we are talking, about or something on such operations, we have to be very, very mindful that maybe some of the people are also intelligence of them. What happened is we always say always that their positions are known. These people, mark you, they are not stationed in one place. They are always roving about, maneuvering, moving from one place to another. They are mobile or motorcycles. So there's no specific area. I mean, military will know specifically these are the likelihood where these chaps are going to be or be at a certain time. But before you can, reach them, due to the distance, they have already changed position. But that one does not mean, the request or the sayings by the authorities when such things happen, everybody becomes angry and other things, and like burning the bushes, bombing the whole place, and so on and so forth. You see, what we're afraid of is not just to go in there and start bombing all the moving things there. We have to specifically have the real assurance that where we are bombing or where we are going to, even if we are going to get lucky, against trying to get peace. What I'm saying here is, like I said, like some of them say they are in the studio with you, the officers. These people are not only getting bolder, they think people with knowledge, people with some sense of that they're getting them out of from these and so on and so forth. They have these tactics to inject into these people's head, and to act, will always surprise that these people are involved. The involvement is that they have the knowledge of what to do, and there are so many. I'm sorry to say, there are so many people who are either fully military trained or half trained that are going about doing nothing, and who are ready to supply them with all these type of thing. See, for example, on the Kaduna Abuja rail line, the first time it happened, I told somebody it was an experiment to test whether it was going to be, it was going to be successful. Then it should have been like you are talking of proactiveness. It should have been that time. Look, are these people not worse? They now try something that will not just demobilize the engine train the first time. Then they're going to do it. We have to be very, very careful. It is something that I just seen about 5 days ago. Kaduna.
Mr. Gama, we seem to be losing your audio again.
So I think for this time we have already learned. We already have 2 attacks on the airport, 2 attacks on the rail line. So this time I hope the authorities, whatever it is, will think twice and get the experts who will be ready to give them some advice, who will be ready to take.
Mr. Gama, I'm afraid that we may have to come back to the studio for now so that we can work on your audio and get it better. Colonel Adachi, I'm going to ask you that same question. The fact that at this point in time, the accounts that have been given of the movement of these terrorists is such that they seem to be moving so freely, unchecked. And the governor of Kaduna says, look, we even know the location of these people. So why is it that the security forces are not taking the battle to them in their camps. They even know their camps. I mean, why is there not enough monitoring and surveillance to deal with this thing, nip it in the bud, before they begin to attack critical infrastructure, as they are already doing?
Well, just like Mr. Galma mentioned, it is true, even though they have their camps where they are stationed, where they kidnap people and put them, and such places may be known. But most often, they are sedentary. They move from place to place, so that sometimes you may not be able to track them. And therefore, just going to bomb might not be too useful. The Air Force itself collects intelligence and information, and I think they know when and where to engage them from the air. It will seem that they probably do not want to engage them and causing damages, collateral damages to adjoining communities that may be close by. Otherwise, if they really know where they are camped, I am sure that they will take on them.
No, but is it that we do not have the Air Force use very precise aircrafts that would locate and destroy? Is it that these terrorists are living or staying amongst civilian populations in those forests, and we're afraid of the possible collateral damage? Such?
Yeah. Staying with civilian population could be one explanation. Another one is that even though the Air Force does have aircrafts that can locate and destroy them, like the Tucano aircraft that people have been talking about.
Yes.
It is true that they have them, but they must have their reason as to why they are not applying them. Certainly. I think that question certainly can be better answered by the Air Force people than just trying to theorize from here in terms of why or why not they are not applying those equipment or platforms that they have against them.
The president, in his response to these latest attacks, talked about the implementation of an integrated security surveillance and monitoring solution. What is that solution that he's talking about, and why is it taking so long to implement a policy that has already been agreed on and is on ground?
Well, integrated security surveillance will mean a collective intelligence-driven approach by the services involved, particularly the Air Force, the Army, and other agencies, the intelligence agencies, which means gathering intelligence collectively, analyzing them, and see how you can apply them practically to annihilate the situation.
And the president has, on several occasions, on very many occasions, directed the military and the other security agencies to, in his own words, deal ruthlessly with these terrorists. And many Nigerians are wondering what is holding back the implementation of that directive.
Well, I cannot answer that one from here. For the security chiefs, they can answer it better by themselves, because if the president gives an order, it is expected that that order should be followed and implemented immediately. That nothing has been done, like you are saying, can be better explained by the security chiefs.
Now, many Nigerians today think that Nigeria is actually at war. And they insist that, look, if we acquire Tucano aircrafts to deal with this kind of situation, we should be deploying those aircrafts right now to actually put down this, what many people would regard as an insurrection by bandits or by terrorists.
Well, indeed, Nigeria is at war. It is not as if the Tucano aircraft itself can just come and solve the problem. There have to be several approaches. Before now, there are approaches that are being used to tackle these terrorists and bandits. It is good that if one is not working, it is good to look at other approaches, because there are options in military operations, options A, B, C. So there is need to look at the various approaches and see the one that can be most effective. Even though the Tucano aircraft, even though could be effective, does not mean that it can solve the solution. It was used to effect, I think in Zamfara also, where I think there were a lot of devastation to the camps and so on. That is what people are expecting here in Kaduna here. If proper mapping of the camps is done and there's enough adequate intelligence, well, of course, the Air Force knows what to do.
Mr. Adachi, Adachi, again, the problem of targeting infrastructure. Now, before now, it was just humans. I mean, human lives that were mostly at risk. In all the other reports you have seen, whether in Kaduna or in Niger or in Zamfara or in other parts of the country where there have been attacks, it's either human beings or even cattle that are rustled here and there. But now, there's a focus on critical infrastructure.
Attacking critical infrastructure is quite worrisome, because without those, the country will be in a lot of trouble. Now, one begins to wonder, what do these terrorists, these bandits, what do they have against the government, against the people? So that if they are not snuffing lives out of people, if they are not maiming them, if they are not killing them outrightly, if they are not causing them so much misery in so many ways, they are now going after infrastructures that sustains their livelihood and with the general of the people. And then you begin to wonder, what is their ideology? What is propelling them? These are big questions. I wouldn't know if our security people have been able to arrest and interdict any of them. Yeah, because it is true that most of them do these things for economic reasons and so on, but going after infrastructure, now you begin to wonder, what is propelling them? Those are big questions that need to be unraveled. Do they want to cripple the Nigerian state? They are citizens of this country, even though the claim is that these are foreigners. When did these foreigners come into our land that they are able to master all parts of the country to be able to be causing this level of damages all over? So it's quite worrisome. There is need to unravel the riddle around this present trend towards attacking critical infrastructure all over the place.
And many are wondering the policy of linking SIM cards with the national identity numbers, the NIN.
Yeah.
How effective has it been? How well has it worked?
Well, for me, it does not work, because it's business as usual for the criminals. It is business as usual. If it has worked, we expect the appropriate ministry, and indeed the minister, to tell us the extent to which it has been utilized, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just a policy that was just made for people to comply or punished, as the case may be, as for those who do not comply with the situation.
Yeah, because the essence of digitizing personal records of individuals who have phones is to be able to track such calls and wherever they are coming from. And if these calls are coming from deep inside forests and locations that are outside of urban areas or even in the urban areas, it's possible to track these calls and zero in on such areas.
That is why I expect the appropriate overseeing ministry to tell Nigerians how effective have these measures been. because it's not just about introducing policies. When you bring forth policies, you expect them to, to bring outcomes, successful outcomes, justifying the implementation in the first place of the policy that people are bound to follow. So as far as I'm concerned, that policy has not functioned well. To me, it has failed, if it is not failing.
All right, Connor, well, let's leave it at that. Unfortunately, we are unable to get back to Mr. Gama and Mike Simon in Kaduna. The networks today have not been very cooperative. We do apologize to them and indeed to our viewers that the network has not made it possible for us to get the best out of Mr. Gama and Mr. Simon right here in Kaduna. But we want to thank them for their time. Bashir Gama joined us virtually from Kaduna. He is a security specialist. And Mike Simon, a relative of one of the survivors of the Monday train attack. Unfortunately, we could really not get much out of him. But we look forward to bringing him back some other time to share his experiences. And right here in the studio, Colonel John Adache, a retired military officer and a security specialist. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for investing your time with us on People, Politics and Power. Join us again when we bring you a fresh edition of the program. Bye for now.